Friends, today, the 15th of October, and today is Dasara Day. So, greetings to all of you on the Dasara occasion. May God give us a wonderful opportunity ahead, and while we crush the iniquities, we should also triumph and emerge victorious. So, with the anticipation that we will emerge victorious, today we will deep dive into our news. Okay, are you ready? Friends, today the news is very good, and we have on 15th October the first news: the bulls continue to scale a new highs. Sensex stops 61,000. BSE benchmark adds 1,000 points in 20 days. Nifty closes at record high of 18.338.55. Sensex goes past 61,000 as festive mood grips Dalal Strait. So festive mood has already gripped, and the Dalal Strait now showing the signs of running, and it is running, and it has crossed 61,000. And the news in detail from the Times of India, Mint, and Financial Express. We have some news here. So, from Times of India and economic news. This is the Times of India news. This is Mint. This is corporate. This is Times of India. So according to Times of India, Sensex goes past 61K as festive mood grips the last Strait. Strong start to Q2 earnings, seasoned by IT companies. Boosts market. India may overtake UK in middle cap. India may overtake UK in middle cap. And the news is like this. Investor wealth up to 2 lakh crore in a day. What is causing the millie? What is causing the millie? And we need some more light. What is causing the rally? Easing of retail and wholesale inflation in India. Expectations of strong car sales in festive season. Strong demand for energy, metal and financial stocks. Better than expected performance by IT companies. Worries about rate hike in the US take a backseat. Number of sessions of the Sensex took to rally from 60K to 61 is only 14. In 14 sessions, the Sensex has raised from 60,000 to 61,000. So all these things have given the market a very great push. The Sensex rose for the 6th straight session and crossed the 61,000 point mark for the first time on Thursday, surging 569 points, nearly 1% to close at 61.306. The Sensex has recorded a new high every day of the holding shortened week, gaining over 1200 points in 4 sessions. The broader Nifty, which crossed the 18K milestone on Monday, also hit a new closing high at 18,339, gaining 177 points, that is 1% on Thursday. The market capitalization of the BSE 2 hit a fresh high of 275 lakh crores. Yesterday it was 270 lakh crores and it is now today it is 275 lakh crore. The market capitalization of the BSE 2 hit a fresh high of 275 lakh crore. So a great leap forward, and this bringing us close to our dreams. So this is from Times of India. And next we have the same news. BSE benchmark adds to 1K points in 20 days. Night Nifty closes at record high of 18.388. So news from Financial Express. Markets continue to climb the new peaks. Markets continue to climb the new peaks. So Sensex soars past 61,000 mark for the first time. Sensex 61,305.95. Benchmark indices Sensex and Nifty raised fresh record highs by notching their sixth straight session of gains on Thursday as participants achieved improving macroeconomic data and positive global cues, going past the 61,000 mark for the first time ever. The Sensex soared 568.90 points or 0.94% to finish at a new closing peak of 61,305.95. It also marked its fresh intraday record of 61,353.25 in the day's trade. So from Economic Times, Financial Express again. Sensex and Nifty continue their record-setting spree, upbeat at macro data. Benchmark indices Sensex and Nifty raised fresh record highs by notching their sixth straight session of gains on Thursday as participants achieved improving macroeconomic data and positive global cues. The NSE Nifty surged 170.80 points or 0.97% to a new lifetime closing high of 18,338.55. Intraday, the gauge touched a new record of 18,350.25 before easing some gains towards the end of the session. On the Sensex chart, ITC was the top gainer with around 3% rise, followed by HDFC Bank, Power Grid, ICICI Bank, IndusInd Bank at the NTPC. On the other hand, TCS, HCL, Tech, Bajaj Finance, Asian Paints and Bharat Airtel were among the laggards. So some have lagged behind and some have pulled ahead. And from Economic Times, the same news in different words. The Sensex, which crossed 60,000 for the first time on September 24, has risen by another 1,000 points in 20 days. The Nifty has risen by over 300 points in 4 days since first touching 18,000 in the intraday trade. A return to normalcy in the economy, the continued crush of retail investors and better than expected corporate earnings are helping indices overcome concerns over coal shortages, higher crude oil prices and steep valuations. On Thursday, upbeat earnings from IT companies Wipro and Infosys boosted market spirit. So bulls continue to scale new highs. Sensex tops 61K. Retail investors, IT earnings drive rally. IT earnings drive rally. So this is the great news about Sensex and Nifty. Sensex and Nifty continue their record-setting spree. See this. And on the other papers, we have Mint. Mint says, let us see what Mint says on this Nifty and Sensex. News. It has given a different page, but from this we will see. Okay, we don't find much here in a different paper. It must be. I selected some news, and that news is already put on here. We will move to the next point. Second point is Invesco has been supported the G until now, Puneet Goenka. Why didn't Invesco make real plans public earlier? Asks Goenka. Proposal from Invesco under GLID, underlevied G, would they, and G managing director would do anything to preserve firm's intrinsic values. So Puneet Goenka said he would do anything to safeguard the intrinsic value of the G which he is heading now. So according to Times of India, G asks why Invesco didn't make its plans public earlier. G Entertainment MD and CEO Puneet Goenka on Thursday said he will continue to take required steps to safeguard the company and its future under the guidance of its board. Why didn't Invesco made its plans public earlier? Does good corporate governance only apply to corporates and not to their institutional investors? This is the question he is putting. And the question we should understand again. Why did Invesco make its plans public earlier? Does good governance only apply to corporates and not to their institutional investors? Goenka said. Invesco, along with OFI Cable China Fund LLC, holds nearly 18% in G and has been pressing for extraordinary general meeting. to discuss various issues including the removal of Goenka and appointment of its nominees on the country's on the company's board. Invesco, along with OFI Global China Fund LLC, holds nearly 18% in G and has been pressing for extraordinary general body meeting to discuss various issues including the removal of Goenka and appointment of its nominees on the company's board. According to Goenka, fight with Invesco is to ensure G continues to gain growth opportunities and become a stronger player in the media and entertainment sector. Goenka said that he would not let anyone impact the future of G or diminish the shareholder value it has been consistently generating over the years. All I am contending for is to preserve the future of this company and not my position. So he is not worried about his position. He wants to safeguard the interest of the company, and that's why he has not convened emergency body meeting as asked for by the Invesco Group. Invesco Group is trying to take over G on one plea or the other, and they want to seek the ousting of Goenka at the hands of the shareholders in the general body meeting. As usually, the shareholders are not much interested in the activities, but only they are interested, they want some money, and it can be these people promise something. And usually it goes like that, and they aimed like that, and even they brought in Reliance Industries RIL also. And the RIL has stepped out and said that they have entered into a quarrel and they don't want to see the quarrel. Why didn't Invesco make RIL plans public earlier, asked Goenka. Questions why rules of good corporate governance did not apply to institutional investors. Reiterates that merger with RIL was not in favor of shareholders. Merger with RIL was not in favor of the shareholders. Current situation is disappointing. Breaking silence at the right time. Lawyers to do needful in the court. So lawyers will do their needful in the court. G Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Puneet Goenka on Thursday issued a statement that questions Invesco Developing Markets Fund's earlier silence on the proposed merger with the Reliance Industries in February this year. In what he hoped would be his first and last communication on the matter, Goenka, on personal note, questioned Invesco for not making its plans public earlier. He went a step ahead and wondered why the rules of the good corporate governance did not apply to institutional investors. So continued on page 2. This is a great company matter, and one should know who one is pursuing company matters. They should know this particular rift between G and Invesco, so that they can answer any other types of questions. Why didn't Invesco make release plans public earlier? However, he did not elaborate on what corporate governance standards rules did Invesco not abide by? He said in his note, does good corporate governance only apply to corporates and not their institutional investors? Goenka reiterated his earlier stance that the merger as proposed by Invesco was opposed as the valuation was not in favor of the shareholders. I acknowledge the stance that has been taken by Invesco, but communications pertaining to such proposals are always well documented and they speak to the contrary. The documents are well documented, but the talkings are contrary talkings. I too have a lot of points to put across, but I confirmly believe that there is a right time and place for it, Goenka said. He said that even though he had a lot of points to put across, he believed there was a time and place for it, explaining his silence on the matter. Goenka said, better to break it at the right time so that the truth comes to the fore. Earlier on Wednesday, Invesco had alleged that Goenka and other members of the promoter family had negotiated a deal with the RIL and it was a felicitator. This was the first time RIL's name had cropped up in the issue, as G had not named the business conglomerate earlier, but termed it as a large Indian group. So the RIL has come out of the bag. Earlier, G had accused Invesco of approaching Goenka with a merger proposal on behalf of a rival company, which, if he accepted, would have led to a loss of 10,000 crore for G's shareholders. For G's shareholders on the proposed merger with the RIL's media firms, G's CEO said during his briefing to the board, he had emphasized on the points pertaining to the proposal from the Invesco. My attention was on the imbalance observed in the valuation and how it was in the best interest of our shareholders. The only reason I did not agree to the proposal was because the shareholders' value was getting compromised. I will withstand any amount of pressure to preserve G's intrinsic value and ensure that nothing impacts the returns being delivered to all the shareholders. Invesco had sought ouster of Puneet Goenka and two executive directors alleging breach of corporate governance norms. It has also sought induction of 6 of its nominees on G's board. The plan is they want to put their members on the G board. For that they want to expel or oust Puneet Goenka and 2 directors. And it is taking, and some other bird is watching, and that is real. They want to come and club hands with Invesco and take over of G as a whole. So that is how the people fight for their positions, and that is how people try to bring down people from their positions. So these are all very tricky issues. Everybody plays a higher hand. Everybody says he knows more. Everybody says he has more. He can do anything. But how can we understand from outside, being a normal shareholder? A normal shareholder goes by what he sees in the paper, and sometimes he is automatically drawn to one side, and whatever is incumbent he opposes, whatever is new he invites. That will be usually the nature of the shareholder. He may not be knowing the actual impact, but still he will be opposing the incumbent and he will be inviting the new person. So that's how the things go. And again, to continue. Proposal from Invesco. Undervalued. Yield. Undervalued. Yield, says MD, would do anything to preserve the investor. And the third news is PNB Housing. PNB Housing stake sale to capital. So PNB Housing scraps stake sale to Carlyle. Lender cites legal delays for terminating 4,000 crore transaction. Back to the square one. So Punjab Bank coming to back to the square one. The story so far, PNB BHF announces plan to raise capital via preferential allotment on 31st May. SEBI asked to hard allotment without an independent valuation. Legal challenges ensue. Supreme Court adjourns hearing on September 9th September. Financial Express. Let's see Financial Express. Then it is Economic Times. No news on that issue. And from Times of India. From Times of India, we have some news. G asks why. G asks why Invesco didn't make its plans public earlier. And here the point is like this. The only reason I did not agree to the proposal was because the shareholder value was getting compromised. I will withstand any amount of pressure to preserve G's intrinsic value. Puneet Goenka. Why didn't Invesco made its plans public earlier? I think I have read it already. And now, next point is probably we have come to the crypto talk. Some crypto talk, be knowing about crypto and its advancements. Crypto is taking grip of the whole globe. Whether you know it or not, it is just passing under the mat and reaching our homes, our pockets, our finances, and it may do anything, and we cannot sit idle. At least if we are knowing what it is doing, we can understand whether we have to jump along with it, or we may have to escape it and go. So if we want to escape crypto, we have to stick to fiat money. So we will stick to fiat money. But what is this unknown, unseen, this invisible cryptocurrency which has already entered and we do not know that it has entered? Crypto concerns WazirX locked over 14,000 accounts between April and September. So this April and September, so April 2021 and September 21, WazirX, the exchange, has locked 14,000 accounts. But the reason is the law inquiring agencies are asking about some details from these 14,000 accounts, whether they are lawful or not, and how. You just let us understand. Striving for safety, 8.5 million total users on WazirX. WazirX is led by Nischal Shetty. 14,469 user accounts locked between April 1st to September 30th, 2020. 14,447 accounts locked by WazirX legal team due to payment disputes or ongoing investigation by law enforcement agencies. Either they are payment disputes or requests from the law enforcing agencies. So even the law enforcing agencies are directing the WazirX or the crypto exchanges to delete or stop or whatever with some accounts which they have seen to be having some links. All the legal information requests received are criminal in nature, such as fraud, kidnapping, narcotics related queries, and our compliance rate has been 100% for over 377 requests. WazirX transparency report. So they are transparent there. Our money is, our interest is gone. No protector and no person who will defend us. So it is always, that is the thing where we are losing, where we may enter into wrong trades. And I read this very carefully, please listen to it carefully. At a time when cryptocurrency is piquing the interest of many investors amid concerns about lack of transparency and regulations, one of the country's major crypto exchanges, WazirX said that it has locked 14,469 user accounts between April to September 30th, 2021. According to the company's first transparency report, 10% of these accounts were locked by its legal team, while the rest were closed at the request of the customers. Elaborating the 10% of cases that required intervention by the legal team, the report said these 1,447 accounts were locked due to payment disputes or ongoing investigation in cases by law enforcing agencies. WazirX said that during their April 2021 to September 2021, it got 377 requests from law enforcement agencies, out of which 38 requests were from foreign law enforcement agencies. All the legal information requests received are criminal in nature, such as fraud, kidnapping, and narcotics related queries, and our compliance rate has been 100% for over 377 requests. WazirX has 8.5 million users which overall trading volume of 30 billion since January 2021. As per its data, 2.72% of the user base was added during the April-September 2021 period. As per the report, whenever the exchange comes across instances of false KYC or its platform being used for illegal activities, the user is blacklisted and relevant law enforcement agencies are informed. So, any activity, any ill intention, any ill direction will be traced and it will be brought to the notice to of the law enforcement agencies. So, be cautious. Don't do anything which is not lawful. So, if you put some other person's KYC and make some nonsense, the system will definitely trace it. And once it is traced, you will be doubted for narcotics, you will be doubted for money laundering, you will be doubted for illegal activities under the FRCA and many other things. So, if you are straight, you may gain or lose, that's a different thing. But law enforcing agencies will never come to you. But if you are using false documents, definitely it will be noticed and traced. So be careful. Initiatives such as transparency report add credibility to the ecosystem and make the crypto world look more appealing to the outsiders. We aim to look at the bigger goals like positive regulations and consider ourselves as passive, as paving the way to it through innovative approaches, said Nischal Sethi, CEO and co-founder Wazirex. Nischal Sethi, CEO and co-founder Wazirex. So the law enforcing agencies are sitting on their heads and inquiring about the KYC of people which we have submitted. There is yet another small news from cryptos and read it for you. On page 4 of the link we have some crypto news. So we cannot say I am innocent. If we want to trade in crypto, our KYC must be good and neat. No playing with KYC. Bitcoin ETF's approval may actually disappoint the bulls. The long-awaited green light from the US regulators for Bitcoin exchange traded fund might turn into a stealthy news event, building speculation that the Securities and Exchanges Commission could approve futures-backed product as soon as this week, has touted as a catalyst for Bitcoin's torrent resurgence, with a deadline for a decision for fast approaching. Crypto promoters such as Anthony Pompliano and Morgan Greek Digital Assets have seized upon the idea, tweeting that things could get insane. Other industry veterans aren't so sure, given the ease of access to the cryptocurrency markets relative to previous years. It's unclear that a Bitcoin ETF launch would spark flood of demand. According to Juthika Chow, head asset exchange. Individuals can already buy and sell digital assets on crypto exchanges worldwide and through more retail oriented platforms such as PayPal and Square. To understand that. So, if you want to learn Bitcoin trading, you must be good in forex trading. Almost Bitcoin trading and forex trading are same. So, know the details of Bitcoin trading and know something about this PayPal and Square. PayPal and Square. So, with them, you can trade on Bitcoins. So, and the ETFs, exchange traded funds. So, Bitcoin ETFs approval may actually disappoint the bulls. How they disappoint the bulls? Other industry veterans are not so sure. Given the ease of access to cryptocurrency markets relative to previous years, it's unclear that Bitcoin ETF launch would spark a flood of demand. Whether it would spark a flood of demand, launch of ETFs, is it going to launch, spread a fear? Since the cryptocurrency markets are relatively very easy for access this year, since we have 2 or 3 crypto exchanges in India, we have Coindex, we have CoinSwitch Kuber and Wazirex. So all these exchanges are very nearby and easy to access. So understand, if Bitcoin ETF approval actually disappointing bulls and giving us a scope to trade on ETFs on Bitcoin. So there is a chart here which shows crypto climb. In this crypto climb, if you are a trader, you can understand Bitcoin 14-day relative strength index, RSI index. 14-day RSI index. Slowly this index is also coming up. So if you understand and get enrolled in the Wazirex, Crypto Coindex, Crypto DCX or Crypto Switch, Kuber Switch, CoinSwitch Kuber, you can understand. So this is the trading chart where the RSI indicator is shown and the trading of crypto ETFs is soon on the board. So enter into it, trade on crypto currencies and get crypto money. So I will be focusing much on unicorns, crypto and company matters and company battles. So thank you friends, happy Dasara, have a nice time and till next episode, this is Dayaratnam Singamala signing off. Have a wonderful, happy time. Bye.